in 5, 4, 3, 2. I always want to sing the iCarly part, and I know we sing it like every time, so I gotta get off of the whole iCarly train.
I know.
Okay.
Our listeners are tired of us.
I know. Hello, guys.
Hi.
How's it? Oh, no, I skipped the frickin' part where I'm talking about.
I think you're overthinking it.
Don't I
think
go
you're
to that
overthinking
part? I
it.
am.
Stop.
Yeah, you overthink it every time. Just say hi.
And then,
You just say
you know
hi.
what I do? I go, okay, I just can't handle it. Someone else take it. Someone
We're
else
going to
take
go
it.
me or
No,
you.
I'm going to
me,
be.
Mare.
I can do this. I can do this.
Hey, it's Casey,
I'm Meredith.
And this is Kiera.
and we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it because
Hello, guys.
Hi. Whoa, we did that in the same tone.
Oh, wow. That was kind of cute. That was insane.
yeah, I know.
I love that. Welcome back to It's Been Forever podcast. My name is Casey,
I'm Kiera.
And I'm Meredith.
and we're so excited to be here with you today. This is episode 3, right, of season 2. We're already 3 episodes
Yes.
in. That's great. That's like moving along. Really excited today because we are getting back into reading your guys' emails.
Oh, yeah. Buckle
And
up,
again,
people.
Just like a quick little shameless plug, like don't forget to write us emails. And we'll talk about that at the end. We'll remind you before you leave.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm really excited to read today's email because this was written in from my sister-in-law, Kelsey. Hello, Kelsey. How are you?
Kelsey? Kelsey. I don't know where that
Kelsey.
came from.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hi,
Kelsey. Hi.
Keep that. Keep that. I like that.
Yeah.
So what we've talked to you guys before, if this is your first time hearing an email on the podcast, pretty much be interesting, have a really good subject line, catch our attention, and if you do anything wrong or you spell anything wrong, we're definitely going to point it out. But we want to be entertained by your email. And, you know, obviously if you know us, that's great. If you don't know us, we'd love to hear from you too. Just tell us what you got.
Yes.
Like if there's something we've said
Tell
that
us
you're
about
like, oh my
yourself.
gosh, that's so me. Like we want to know. Okay. So that was just a little disclaimer. Now let's go ahead and dive on in. So the subject line from this email is, I can't wait to get roasted. So
Coming off strong.
I think Kelsey's going to kind of reveal a little bit of her character in this, but she is someone who I think 5 years ago, maybe, maybe even more than that, maybe less than that. I don't know. She's not someone who wants to be roasted. It's actually not the easiest thing for her. So for the fact that the subject line is, I can't wait to get roasted, is kind of blowing my mind a little
That's
bit.
big.
She knows what she signed up for.
Okay.
She does. She does. But before we get started, I don't even want to talk about anything that she has to say. I do want to point out to you guys her profile picture on her email, which clearly has not been changed, Kelsey, since high school.
Stop. Show us.
So I'm going to show you guys.
Yeah, I know no one else can see.
Do you guys see those
my-
side
I
bangs
love
and that like tilted head?
That's
Okay.
like
Also-
that's like taking on her MacBook.
Yes.
100%.
In the
like
photo
she first
booth.
got the MacBook. You take your first picture. You turn your head because we're still doing the side bangs, and it's like swooping over, and like she's just was really excited about that picture.
I'm in love with an emo
And now it's
girl.
2024, and you forgot that you haven't changed it for like over maybe 10
Also,
years. I don't know.
Can we note her last name? Not changed to her husband's last name. Still maiden name. We got from Kelsey.
Still maiden name.
Nitchy.
Sure. I mean, you know what? I'm not
like
even
that.
going to roast her on that one because I don't even think I've changed it. Either. So
Okay, then that'll be a roast
Um,
from Kiki. That's as far
fine.
as I
But
get.
for both of you, honestly,
Okay.
mine's changed.
Yeah. Good job.
Mine's still the same. So
Okay.
okay, so moving on.
All right. Here we go. It starts off as, hello, ladies. Okay. So this is just, she knows all of us. Just to give you some context behind this, she doesn't just know me. So we all get our own paragraph, which is kind of sweet.
Wow,
everyone-
that's
Gosh,
cute.
okay.
Buckle in.
I'm kind of scared for mine.
Oh my gosh.
I'm scared for mine. Are you kidding me?
I
Come on.
know Kelsey the least, so I'm kind of excited for mine, to be honest.
Good.
All right.
Okay, here we go. First of all, love all 3 of you and your pod.
Oh,
Okay,
thanks.
that's
That
super
is
great.
cute.
Then she says, big fan. So all caps, big, like a lot of eyes. Like
She's a really,
big
really,
fan,
like,
you
she's a
guys.
huge fan.
Like
Like the
big
biggest.
fan.
Mhm.
Okay. I feel like I'm telling all my friends about this famous podcast that I listen to every day, and it's kind of my biggest flex.
That's so cute, actually.
Well, that's really sweet because we're definitely not famous.
That's
and this
the
is just
cutest
mostly
thing ever.
wow. That's so. It's funny. Have you guys run into a situation where you like told somebody something and they're like, "Oh yeah, you did that on like I remember you talking about that."
Yeah,
I'm like
you mentioned that on your
people
podcast.
listen to this.
oh, this is embarrassing.
Though if you've heard that, then you
know, I'm
definitely
like,
heard this other thing.
We're telling too much about our
Well,
lives.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll like randomly get a text from a friend when they're like catching up and they'll like quote something to me from that episode,
No way.
and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot we said that, didn't
Oh
we?"
gosh, that's
So,
embarrassing.
Anyway, but thank you, Kelsey. That being a big flex, like I feel honored. Okay, second, Mare, in all caps. Can't wait for your baby to arrive.
Oh, that's cute.
So excited for you. You're gonna make an amazing mom, and I can't wait to tell them about your granola phase, living with the Nitchies, and remind them that shampoo is in fact important.
Shampoo is important. I will bathe my
good.
child.
That's so funny. If you haven't heard Mare's meatball story with her hair, I think that season 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I can't tell you
so
what
you
I
have to go
back-
back and hear about Mare's meatball
Towards
phase
the end,
and
my meat
granola phase.
sauce. Meat sauce
Yeah.
hair.
Meat sauce. Thank you. Why am I calling
Yeah.
you meatball?
Meatball
You
era.
meatball. Jersey Shore. Yeah, meatball.
It's all right.
Okay.
Oh.
Third. Okay, this is mine. My heart kind of dropped a little bit. I'm a little scared. Third case. I just love you. I remember back when I was scared of you. Yesterday. Winky face.
Yesterday,
Anyway.
that's funny.
When Bryce introduced us to you, and now look at us. I don't get terrified to come into your presence.
That's good.
I'm still working
great.
on that. So
That's great. So glad you're a part of the family. Also, let's make a plan to take Emily on another run soon.
That's
Oh
so
my gosh.
funny.
That's a reference to a previous episode too. You guys got to
Yes.
catch up.
Emily is Kelsey's little sister. We went on a run. It was really traumatic for Emily. One of the funniest moments of my life. So yeah, let's take her.
That's
on
funny
another
that she brought that back
She's
up.
Kelsey's actually training for, I think, a full marathon right now.
Yeah, I saw
and so
that.
the last thing I actually want to do, Kelsey, is probably go on a run with you. I'd probably end up like Emily, bawling. So, fourth, Kiki. I'm high key obsessed with you. Whoa. You're so fun and artsy and authentically you.
That's
I
so
think
Yeah,
it's
she
cute.
is.
beautiful, and I look up to you because of it. Oh my
That's
gosh,
the nice Kelsey.
that's like
If
so
you're listening,
nice.
which you are listening, like it's obvious. Thank you.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's the cutest thing ever.
And then she goes, "Oh, this is really funny." She goes, "Anyway, ew, enough of this mushy gushy." Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what
I
I'm
like
talking
that.
about. I want to know what your weapons of choice would be / what your plan of attack would be if you all entered the Hunger Games. Oh, that's fun.
Oh my gosh, so good.
You're not
That's
all
a
there
good
together.
question.
Don't worry. I feel like this says a lot about a person.
That's a good
Okay, anyway,
question.
The Kurtzers love you guys with peace and love. Kels.
Aw.
Kels, good email.
That was a really good email.
Strong
Very good.
email.
Besides your photo in the beginning, there's really not much
Jump
to
scare.
critique. There is quite a few emojis. Couldn't quite include those,
Okay.
because I don't know how. There was a couple winkies. Then there's one that's like, where the face,
Mhm.
one eye's
I love
open,
that
one
one.
eye's kind of like opener, and then the tongue.
She kind of brought in a Mare brings down the mood segment at the beginning. Like that was a
I know, I
good
love
question.
that. Good
She
job,
did.
Kels.
Wait,
I approve.
can you
Kels.
repeat it though? Because
Yes, I
Okay.
will. I know. I already
Mhm.
forgot it too when I read it.
Mhm.
Okay, what is your weapon of choice? Or / like what is your plan of attack if you were in the Hunger Games? And we're not in it together, so we don't have to worry
Thank
about
God.
that. I know.
Okay.
I'm definitely hiding.
Oh my gosh,
trying to
I was gonna say
camouflage.
that.
Sorry about it. Well, and
I would
here's
be
the
like
thing.
PETA. I would like want to like dress myself up as a cake in the tree.
Oh, here's the thing.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, with Katniss, at one point, she was like hiding out, and they threw like fireballs at her to try and get her back
Yeah.
into the crowd. So I know at some point they would try to rein me back in.
Yeah.
So maybe I just am not a hand. I don't think I would do well in hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, I would do terrible.
So probably something that's from a distance, like bow and arrow.
Yes.
You
Or
know,
guns
even
in the
like a
Hunger
good
Games?
slingshot.
Oh my gosh.
Or
No, there's no guns, I don't think.
There's not guns. This is literally blowing my mind. You took the answer right out of my mouth. That's exactly how I feel. I don't want to, I don't really even want to hurt anybody. I'm hoping I can just wait it out and everyone just somehow dies.
And here's the thing. I know I'm not winning. I'm not winning.
Yeah.
100%. I'm dying. But I'm going to try to last as long as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think if it's like sheer will, I think I do well. But it's not. And I have to live outside, which is...
That's true.
I don't know. That's my kryptonite, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe that's what
woods.
it is. Get to be really good at being in like freezing temperatures, and then just hope that it gets to be those temperatures so that everybody is struggling.
Is that
and they're
something
an
that you're
easy
able
attack.
to do?
I don't know.
So just
I can't
Kira's
remember the
weapon
Hunger
of choice. Kira's weapon of choice is hope.
Yeah.
I think
and
so.
adapt to the cold?
I think mine.
I don't think our bodies can adapt like
Mhm.
to sub-zero temperatures where
Yeah.
you will die, but I don't know, maybe yours will.
Yeah, mine is hope. And honestly, I am the kind if I know I'm going to die, which I'm 50-50. Would I put up a fight or would I just be like just take me now? Because I don't want to see like people that I, even if it's not us three, people that I probably know and like and love, like I don't want to see them die. So I'd rather just die first.
Who are we in a Hunger Games
I don't
with our family?
I don't know.
Like PETA, like Katniss and PETA.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
But other than that, I think probably bow and arrow. I'd try to do that. I'd try to do it like from afar. Like I couldn't really watch what's happening.
Or like throwing knives, like that knife
Yeah.
throwing chick. I would try to get good at that too.
Yeah. But
Like things where I can do it from away from you and you didn't see me, and then
Yeah.
I do it and then I like scamper away and you never knew where it came from.
yeah.
Yep.
Like hand to hand, I agree.
Set a trap,
Combat.
maybe.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm
Okay,
strong
that's-
enough. Like I could try to be mentally strong, but like physically I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I don't got the guns.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
question,
man.
Kels.
Thank you,
That was a good
Kelsey.
question. Thanks,
Yeah.
Kels.
Wow. Well, today, episode 4 of season 2, we have
3.
Wait, what did I say?
4.
Dang. Sorry. Okay, well,
Loser.
you know when you're like going in your head, you're like, how many? And I know we just said at the beginning of the episode, and I forgot.
Did you feel like that beginning part that we just did was 3, and now what we're gonna do
maybe.
is episode 4?
Again, I had a brain aneurysm. I forgot.
Aneurysm?
Aneurysm.
I had an aneurysm.
Aneurysm. Isn't that what I said?
You said
No.
aneurysm.
No. Aneurysm.
Play it back.
Play it back. Okay, I'm gonna.
Have you
do
guys
that
seen
again.
those commercials? I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. Have you guys seen those commercials where they want like a replay on the call, but it's like a conversation you had? You're like, no, I never said that. I'm like, yeah, you did say that. And then the commercial, they go, okay, let's replay it. And then a ref comes out and they replay what their past conversation was. And then someone goes, I told you that's what you said. You guys don't watch enough sports channels
No.
because
Yeah,
it's
no.
exclusively on like ESPN.
No, I'm
It is
sorry.
really funny though. Like it is really funny. Like you guys should look it up.
I do believe you though.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is, I do believe you. Oh, how do you feel about other Kelsey retiring? I don't know. Do you have thoughts?
Oh, I mean, he's an O lineman. He's been in the league for a while. It's fine. Like
It's his time
I mean,
to.
Oh, Eagles, Kelsey?
Yes.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
What's his name?
He'll be fine.
Jason.
Jason.
Yeah,
Flip flop
Jason.
Jason.
Well, he can go home with his kids.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, he's made so much money and he does sponsorships, and he'll probably end up as being an analyst. So
He kind of looks like a garbage collector.
oh,
or a
100%.
plumber. So I feel like
100%.
Oh my god.
it's time for him to like
It's
just sit
time
on
for
a
him to
couch.
go.
Oh, he needs to go. He wants to sit on a couch so bad, you guys.
Yeah,
That's
big
all he
old
wants
lazy
to
boy.
do.
Yep.
He wants to be a lazy
Oh.
boy with his like
Yeah.
daughters and wife. Good for him though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Good
No,
for him.
I'm happy for
I just
him.
randomly saw that, and also at the same restaurant that I had those oysters, the game, the Chiefs and Dolphins game was on, and I
Yeah.
literally was spitting out all these things to Colton. He was like, "How do you know this?" And I'm like, honestly, some
Nuh-uh.
random thing on TikTok. But I was like, "Oh, the game is at 8:10. You know, it's in it's in Missouri and blah blah blah, all this stuff, and this
my
is like what the
gosh.
record is, like 11, and he's like, how do you know that? I'm like, honestly, I don't know, I just memorized it from something,
In that
and then
moment,
I Googled
he found
it.
you so attractive.
I think he did. He was turned on.
He's like, this is my woman.
He was like, yeah, keep eating those oysters. Keep eating those oysters.
That's funny. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, I thought
that's
you'd
good.
appreciate that because I had my one moment of like
I
fame.
did appreciate it.
And the thing is, he knew.
Oh, you should have recorded yourself saying it. I would have been so impressed.
Okay, well, if another game comes on, I'd feel like looking up the details and I memorize it. I'll make sure to let you guys know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big games coming up. So
I do know that the Dolphins lost pretty bad.
they did. It wasn't a
good game for them. But they never play good in the cold. That's also what I learned because, I mean, because Florida people, but like sub 32 degrees. Anyway, okay. Ready?
I'm so ready.
So today we have an exciting episode that we're going to talk about all the things about long distance relationships, really, but especially the hard things and when to know when a long distance friend turns into maybe just someone that you occasionally talk to. Maybe like you're not as close as what you used to be. I feel like we are pretty good people to talk into this since we do have a long distance friendship. And yes, like we do stay connected. And I feel like we've done a lot of things to make sure that we do like keep up with each other's lives, i.e. this podcast too. But I think along the way too, we've also had friendships and our relationship also hasn't been perfect 100%, but we've also had long distance friendships with other people that just like maybe have fizzled out, and what that looks like and how we can kind of just like either come to terms with that or things that we think maybe has made that the case. And so actually we posted something on our story, a couple questions that I'll say here to remind ourselves. We asked, what's the hardest thing about being in a long distance friendship? How do you know when that friendship has faded? And how do you deal with a friendship breakup? I'm curious on the friendship breakup, like a specific moment in time, like that you and someone have like, you're like, okay, this isn't going to be the like a friendship that I want to continue anymore. I don't know. Do you guys have one of those that you've had?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I was in high school, I actually went through a really, really bad friendship breakup, and it's it's one of those friends when you're young and you're like super, super naive to life being life, you know, and you think, okay, I'm sleeping at your house this weekend, you're sleeping at my house this weekend or next weekend, and like you do everything together. You're in the same classes. And especially like when you go to a really small school, like I had 36 people in my class. So it was like to find like that best friend. And then for it to not work, it's like, there's only so many places you can turn to in that moment.
Yeah.
But I remember it was really, really hard for me. And I just remember like I'm like a fixer where like the minute something bad happens, I'm like, okay, how can I make it better? How can I fix it? What can I do? What can I say? What can I like come over and do something for you? Like, I want to make it better so bad. And I just remember that feeling being so intense for the first time in my life, but also that devastation of like, I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix it. And then you have to deal with the whole, okay, well, we're still going to see each other type of thing. And it's different, with like a boy and a girl. It's like you can go in your boy world, I can go in my girl world, but it's like girl world is the same world, especially when you are like running into each other all the time. And I just remember I was devastated, and I thought that life was going to end. And I thought that everyone hated me because if she doesn't want to be my friend anymore, then obviously there's something wrong with me. And I think I've kind of talked about this on the podcast before, but like running into like, body image issues and eating disorders and all that kind of stuff, it fed into that lie so much worse. And I thought that I was unlovable and that I truly was never going to have that kind of friendship again. And I like every once in a while I get on Facebook. It's not often, but I'll have like a memory that pops up, and I like had some moody Facebook statuses. Like, oh my gosh.
We gotta bring some of those back just to see what you were saying.
I know, but I think I remember at one point I said, I just want one true friend who will never like leave my side. I don't know, something gross. Like, shut up, 14-year-old, 15-year-old Casey. Like, you're annoying. Like, and I remember that heartbreak. Like, I was devastated, and even I think it can go like with a friendship of the same sex. There's things you can understand about how the other person lives because that's how you are. And when you're so personal with that person, and you tell them all these things about yourself, then it feels like a part of you is missing, and a part of you never be able to tap into again is gone now, because you had that such unique relationship and that uniqueness to what the two of you had, that it feels like it can never be replicated ever again. And the sad thing is it can't be, but you can also find that same type of feeling with somebody else in a different way. I mean, it's very similar to relationships, I would say, where you can be devastated and you think, I'm never going to be in love again or whatever, but you find love with somebody else in a different way. And in friendship, it's, I don't know, it's like, as I don't know, this seems super, super cliche, but like it's a little piece of your heart, because it's like you did so much with that person and you invested in them and you cared about them so much, and they hopefully reciprocated that. Otherwise, that's not a friend. But yeah, I just remember it was really, really hard for me, and it happened my freshman year of high school, and so it was something I had to wrestle with all 4 years of high school, and there was just a lot of doubt for a lot of years about it. And I was really thankful when I got to college, because it was one thing that I was like really, really praying for. It was like a group of friends that were going to just know me and like take me for who I am, because there's a lot of things about me that are like not the greatest. But that's like what I was yearning for. Basically, like 14-year-old Casey was just like, man, I just want somebody to like love me for who I am. I'm going to mess up, but I just want somebody to still love me. And so that was my first really real breakup with a friend. And, and you have some here and there, like, oh yeah, we're really close during this sports season, or like we did a play together and that was like, we're really close. And then you just kind of fade away. And those are kind of common. Those are normal. And I think everyone kind of goes through that. But like to have like, oh my gosh, this actually gutted me, and I've cried about it, and I've like not gone out about it, or like not gone out and done things because I'm like sad about it. It's a little different.
That's hard too. Like as a freshman in high school, I feel like that's such a pivotal time just in growing up and like making friends and stuff, that like that can be traumatic.
Definitely hormonal too. Like a lot of hormones involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. And especially you're like, I just want to be known and loved and seen and just be appreciated for me. Because you're like, that's what I'm hearing, like from my parents and from church and from everything else. But it's like, if you don't feel like you're receiving that from an actual friend.
And even like movies, like
totally
you see these movies, and I feel like oftentimes it was like the people in these movies are so much older than me, like they're in college or whatever, and they have this like core group of friends, and I want that. And so like, where can I find where I belong, because these people found where they belong.
And
I think I aspired for my friendship to be like Aquamarine.
Oh, everyone did.
Totally. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
And I
So
I
good.
wanted that so bad. JoJo and what was her name again? Oh, I should know it.
The
I
Aquamarine
don't
girl?
know it. The blonde girl?
Emma.
Okay.
Emma. What's her last name? I don't know. Emma. You guys know her.
Blanking. If I saw
She's
her
on Fabulous. It's better on Fabulous. Emma Roberts.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. JoJo and Emma Roberts. I don't
forgot she
remember
was
what
in
their
that.
names were. Yeah. I don't remember what their names are in the actual movie, but
No.
I remember, I mean, like Aquamarine was, I think I used to watch that like all the time in middle school, like before high school, and then maybe a little bit in high school too, because I mean, I'd watch it now. I'm not even gonna
Oh,
yeah.
good.
but that was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be friends forever, and like even though they have to move across the world from each other, they're still gonna be best friends. And it was like, why aren't people fighting for that kind of friendship? And like that's what I thought every friendship should be like.
Yeah.
So, but obviously that's not 100% realistic.
I know. That's what
Looking
you
back on life, but
think of it.
yeah, that's where my mind was, and yeah, that it is really hard though.
That is hard. So I had a similar experience just in the same time frame with a friend who got her first boyfriend though. And we were really close, like all middle school, most of high school. I think it was around like sophomore year. And just got a boyfriend, and I felt like everything became about him, and so it wasn't so much like a big breakup, but it was just a gradual breakup, if that makes sense. It was like one of those experiences where you're like, well, you're not going to really leave like us for him, are you? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And she did. And looking back, I'm like, you know what? If I was young and in love, I might have done the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of just like hindsight, looking back in hindsight, thinking things differently.
Tale as old as time.
Yep, exactly. But I remember at the time just being so frustrated and felt like there were 3 of us that were really close. One had moved away like the year prior, starting off high school. And so I was like really sad about that. I was like, okay, well, at least I have this other person. Got a boyfriend. Was like, okay, well, now I'm annoyed at that. And then it felt like I had and I did have other people. I really did. But I felt like everyone's like moving on with their lives, and it's only like sophomore year of high school. I'm like, it's not even like we're college or beyond. It just feels like other things are more of a priority. So I feel, and that also happened with a friend in college too, that just like the guy just became the focus, to be honest. And it felt like pushing the girl friendships as a wayside. And let me tell you about something about girlhood is like when you're in it and you find your girls, it's like you want to just like stand by them no matter what. And so when someone
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is real. I just want to say that. It is real.
It's really real. No, it really is. And so I feel like women like truly feel it like harder on another level emotionally when you do go through something with a friend that is, I think, especially about a boy. I don't know what it is, but it's especially like you're, choosing sides with him and not me. And actually one of our listeners had kind of a similar story. And she said, yes, I've had a friendship breakup. Her boyfriend said that I was a bad influence and she listened to him, which, I mean, knowing this person that wrote it in, she's not a bad influence. So I feel like sometimes girls are really like swayed by what the guy is saying to them, even if it's like not true. And that's just annoying to look at, especially as a friend, to be like, you're changing for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've
think
seen that.
Girls are such emotional beings. Like I remember someone brought this up to me in high school. Like whenever you talk to a girl and you ask her like, what do you think about the situation? She'll always respond with, I feel like.
Yeah.
And a guy doesn't respond that way, right? The guy's like,
oh, interesting.
I think it's all good. But if you ever like think about this, like as you talk to people just in life, girls will say, I feel like. And so girls are really just driven by their emotions, which is not a bad thing because emotion needs to be happening as well. But sometimes we can get swept up in those emotions, and especially when when you're in a new relationship and it's exciting and that emotion is swaying you in one direction a little bit more, it's hard to keep your head on straight sometimes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've definitely been guilty of it myself, or even like if you're into something new in your life.
Yeah. Your priorities have changed.
It's just, yeah. And sometimes you get them skewed, and that's when like a true friend, if you've put in the work in that friendship, knows, okay, this is what's happening. They don't mean anything by it. And you can get your feelings hurt, I think, sometimes too. But knowing that, okay, they're just having a phase, like it's just a phase or whatever, and they'll come back. And when they come back, maybe it'll look a little different, but you'll still be there. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think in those two, I definitely feel like the immaturity definitely played a factor. Like looking at it now, I feel like you could be like, okay, understanding, or be like, okay, well, our relationship is bigger than just talking about this one topic or whatever it is, like just talking about your boyfriend or whatever it may be. So I think that plays a factor just as you get older. I feel like that's maybe less because people are, getting married, they're starting their own family. So that is going to be a common like life adjustment. I think when you're like younger and you're like, no, I just want sleepovers with my girls and I want to do all the fun stuff, which I mean, I still want to do that now. Am I joking? But I think,
100%.
yeah, but I think that you don't have like like me looking at it. I think it, maybe the friendship had run its course and it was sad in the moment, but now I'm like, you know what? Maybe it had to happen to, give light to other friendships and to, see what else is there like in front of you. Kind of a thing.
Yeah. What about you, Mare?
Yeah. I've kind of talked about this one before a little bit. But so prefacing a little bit, when I was in high school, like before college, I never really had like a best friend really, or like I didn't know what a good like healthy friendship could look like. I have one really good friend from home, but we both mutually know like when we are together too much, we don't really get along. And like we've talked about that before. Like I'll fully say her name is Tori. She's I would say she's one of my best friends. You guys know Tori, but like, and like we love each other. We have such a mutual respect for each other, but we know like if we spend too much time together, we don't get along very well.
And that's called confidence in your friendship.
And exactly like seriously, we love each other, and like seeing each other twice a year and like FaceTiming in between is enough for us. Yeah. But that being said, so then going into college, I was really excited to have like that close friend that like we just connected and could spend like every second together, and we're like, connected at the hip. And I felt like I found that friend my freshman year. And then sophomore year came along, and there were just we just kind of started growing apart. I don't really know how to explain it. I just remember there was one night where we were screaming at each other in the stairwell. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm not like an angry person, but I remember standing in that stairwell and us screaming at each other and thinking like, this is not what a friendship looks like. Like she's not hearing me, and frankly, I don't want to hear her. Like it was mutual, like I don't want to hear what she has to say. She just needs to listen to me. And she was probably thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I think I've had my fair share of like breakups, like relationship breakups. That one is the one that like that friendship breakup hurt worse than any like boyfriend breakup hurt.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Casey, it's like there is this like girlhood, like we just shared so much together, and I felt so connected to this person, and like I finally found what it's like to have best friend. And like at that time I also had you guys too, so I'm thankful that it wasn't like I lost my only friend.
Yeah.
But it still was a significant loss that left this like big hole, and was like, oh my gosh, well, like what now? Like is this how many other times in my life is this going to happen? Like at that time I'm thinking I'm 19. Is this what friendship looks like?
Right.
I think sometimes it can feel too like life only gets worse. Like, how is it supposed to get better? Because these are supposed to be like the best years of our life.
Yeah.
So how is it supposed to get better? And I think too, when this person's so interwoven with your everyday life, it's like, how do you navigate not doing everything together? Because it just becomes habit. And then obviously you can fight on the stairwell, right? And you can have that huge discussion, but it has to come to some sort of resolution. It has to.
Yes.
And the resolution sucks. Okay. So we're not going to sit here and tell you that conflict resolution or whatever is awesome and it's super fun and like go out and do it and change your life tomorrow. You have to work towards it, and you have to truly like mean it, and you have to like desire to get to a point where things are resolved enough. And again, it might not resolve the way that you want it to, which sucks because I remember, I mean, that was really hard for you, Mare. And, you know, I kind of went through a similar situation in college as well. And it was just devastating. And I think the other sad part is when you're seeing that person kind of slip away and then they know you less and less.
Yeah.
And it was like our proximity was so close, and now it's just less and less. And now when I say things, you don't know what I mean, or oh, you weren't there. Oh, you weren't there. I thought you knew that inside joke.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry. Now I have to explain it. Now you feel stupid. I feel stupid.
Yep.
And that was kind of what somebody else said too from one of our listeners was when you're hanging out together and there's that moment of silence and awkwardness.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And, you know, we used to go into each other's rooms all the time. Like literally no prompt. I just like fling the door open. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Like
sometimes when we're not even there.
Yeah.
I came back to my dorm room once, and Casey and Bryce were standing in my room with every single article of clothing from my closet on their bodies, except for like undergarments. But like, and that's what friendship looks like,
right?
Just being dumb and silly and not taking
it's
everything
being dumb
seriously.
and silly. And like even when you are in the room, like if you're not talking, it's not like that uncomfortable. Like, why aren't we talking? It's like, yeah, I'll talk to you if I have something to say, but if I don't have something to say, I just want to be here and sit with you type of thing. And so it is really hard when you find yourself sitting with someone and you're like, we used to literally not shut up, and now here we are, like this is uncomfortable. And it's like you both can feel it, but you don't really know how do you address it?
Yeah, how do you articulate that?
How do you fix it? And maybe there's nothing that's technically wrong. Some things just sometimes can't be fixed, but you do, you know, you do the best you can.
Yeah. I actually just watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy that kind of is on this very topic, and it's
oh my gosh, what season are you in?
Yeah, I know. We haven't asked for a season
we
update
haven't
in a while.
asked, but I'll tell you, I'm in the middle of season 10, so it's right when Kepner.
Whoa,
I know,
good job.
Don't know the episode number off the top of my head, but it's like halfway
you don't know
through
our episode, so I won't expect you to know the episodes either.
But if you're familiar with the show, it's the episode where Kepner and his name Matt like are getting married.
Oh my gosh, I forgot
the paramedic.
about that guy.
The paramedic.
Okay, yeah.
And in that episode, Meredith and Christina are having like their biggest fight, and it's pretty much on this thing. It's like they feel like they've grown apart, so everything they do, they feel like they have to either like have a reasoning for everything or like wanting up each other, and then it becomes a competition. And Christina is pretty much telling Meredith like, well, you chose a different life path, you're a mom now, you have other priorities. And then Meredith is like, well, I'm jealous of you now because you get to, you know, be all involved in your work and you get to do X, Y, and Z. So it feels like a competition almost. And I think that is a big takeaway that I have of friendship breakups is sometimes it you don't mean to, but it feels like you're trying to like one up each other because you don't know much about each other's lives. So then when it becomes this like maybe unhealthy relationship now, it's like, well, I have this thing, well, I have this thing, well, you don't do that, well, you don't do that, and then it just becomes like an attacking force. But kind of like what you were saying with your friendship with Tori, like I feel like when you're in a, you know, I don't know if healthy is probably healthy is a good word for it, just a stable communicative there we go there we go we got it
way, I think
relationship, it's like
communion
please.
I think it was
that's what I'm drinking.
And
the bread and the body.
That's what I'm drinking right now. Communion juice. You just don't have to feel that like one upping each other. I don't know. That's like the note I took. One up each other. That's I feel like a lot of my friendship fizzles or breakups is like, okay, well, we're trying to compete clearly, and that's not what I want in a friendship. And maybe that's not how it started, and that's not our intent, but that's where it's landed us. And I just frankly don't want that kind of, friendship right now. And I think that's okay. I think that's hard to like acknowledge too, like with several of the friends that I'm like not as close with anymore, that I have to like realize like, okay, this is not like, this is something I would call you for. This is something I would be like, I'd be like shopping, be like, what do you think, on a different level. And now I'm like, I don't even know like where you're living right now. I'm like, I don't even know anything about you. It's like, for me, like, I feel like just a very harsh reality at times. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, it's fine, I have other people. And sometimes I'm like, I just wish that it, was the way that it was. and maybe it never will be, but I think to some degree
Yeah.
you kind of have to come to terms with that.
I think another thing that's kind of sad to lose, and we kind of touched on this briefly, but is like the whole like group of people that you had, and then people kind of slowly slipping away from that group. Something that someone else brought up is like when you text in a group chat and no one responds, it's like, does everyone hate me?
Yeah.
Or are they busy? And group chats can kind of turn into that. Like they can be stale if they're not actually like, I don't know.
Like you send TikToks and like no one responds.
Yeah.
And then, like okay, we're making a joke because I send so many TikToks and they confessed to me last week that they don't watch them.
Well, and then today Kiera sent one and no one responded. And like an hour later, she's like, okay, guys, this one's actually funny. I'm not gonna lie, I watched it.
It wasn't that funny?
I didn't think it was.
I didn't watch it.
Watch
it was
it.
good, but then because you were like, no, this one's really good, guys. I was like, okay, this is
okay.
really
Well, have
good.
your expectations
You know what I mean?
way low. It just
Okay.
I don't want to have low expectations.
well, now I feel like you
Funny.
have to because I don't want to set you up for failure or disappointment. But I thought
You
it
know
was
what?
funny.
I'm
So
never
funny.
disappointed. I kind of love when I hate them because it's like, oh, Kiera.
No, I will literally say to Bryce, I'm like, this is so on brand with Kira. Like, this is such Kira's humor. Like,
I said that
Oh,
to
yeah,
Noah
this
too.
video
He
is my
there, and I
humor.
was like, I clicked into it and I was like, Kiera said this was fire, so let's see.
fire. Oh my gosh.
I
I'm
didn't
still
say
saying
that exact phrase.
No, you didn't say that.
That is
Oh, that's
funny.
so funny.
Yeah, it's a
But-
very me one.
But
anyway.
like, yeah, our group chat is different.
Well, and that's the thing is like I feel like this could relay into like red flags and green flags in a friendship. Like we had the episode last season, but like I feel like what is so green flag about our relationship is like if I text in the group chat and no one answers, I'm not insecure about it.
No,
You know,
no.
like I know you guys like Casey's probably sleeping because it's probably 5 a.m. her
Probably,
time.
yeah.
exactly.
And Kiera's probably at work or not driving because the only time she texts is when she's driving. So
Hey, don't out me like that.
let's be honest.
Mom, close your ears.
So
Super
that's the difference too is like
Yeah.
I think that's a sign too of when you know a friendship is like fizzling is when you start to feel that insecurity and like, oh, can I bring this
Yeah.
up to them? Like, should I say something?
Yes.
You
That's
know,
so
it's a
true
good
because I
point.
literally never think that with you guys. Or even
No.
like, I have Naomi, my home best friend, and then I have Jess who lives in Kansas. I never feel like if I say something and they don't respond that like, oh my God.
Like it means the
Right?
worst.
What have I
You would
done?
text them and be like, hey, answer me.
Right.
You
I
know?
know.
Or be like, what is going on?
No, guys, seriously.
I know. Or I'd be
answer.
like, they're like, oh, sorry, I haven't gotten back to you. And I'm like, I forgot
Right.
that I even texted you. Like that's the kind of level of comfort that you want to
Well,
know.
okay, I should say, or I should ask Kiera, when we don't answer your TikToks, are you insecure?
I'm not insecure, but I want you to watch them to know. Because if I sent them, because I watch yours, so you better watch
I
mine.
do
So
believe
maybe
that, yeah.
maybe I am insecure.
Maybe it's more of a mutual like, come on, guys.
It's like it's
Yeah.
more
Well,
like
I will say-
I put effort into sending you this. I pressed that share button and I typed in your little names. So mom,
you did not type it up. Know that we are suggested. I know it pops up and you never have to type it in.
one that pops up.
True.
That's exactly how mine is. I never.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. Right, it takes no effort at all.
No,
but
I mean,
still,
On yeah, I know. I get it.
I get it.
I mean, like on Instagram, like I feel like I've sent like 2 really good ones back to back.
you
And
sent some good ones. Yeah.
Kira,
love
you are
that.
so faithful. Kira Mare never responds to me, but it's whatever because
I
I know it's
try.
funny and I don't care.
I'm so bad at Instagram DMs. I'll like send something to my sister and she's like, I sent this to you 2 days ago, and I'll go and look and I'll have like 5 unwatched videos from her.
Yeah.
Cole
know,
does that to me. I'll send him something. He's like,
I'm
I
just notoriously
sent that to
bad
you.
at that. But
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But like again, I don't have that insecurity of our friendship.
Yeah.
Like I feel
Yeah.
super secure and so when you are questioning that's when you're kind of getting to a point where it's like, okay, what's going on?
Yes.
Either I mean, I would say figure it out. Like what is holding you back from being like feeling secure in your friendship? Or if you already could feel it kind of going that direction and you don't live in the same place and you don't run in the same circles and it's like you're fighting to keep something alive that doesn't make you feel good, then at that point, that's kind of maybe when you leave it good. Like, hey, hope you had a good birthday or whatever, like still, touch in when you feel like it's necessary, but like not trying to force something. You never want to feel like a friendship is like, you don't want to force someone to be your friend, and you wouldn't want them to force themselves to be friends with you. So
what sucks is the friendships. These are the friendships that break my heart the most, is the friendships that I know that if we still lived in the same town or the same area, we would hang out every day. We'd be such good friends.
Totally.
But like we don't, and there's no reason for us to ever like text or, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my
I haven't
gosh,
seen you in 5 years.
Yeah.
But I know if I saw you like randomly in town, I would like poop my pants.
Talk to them for
Go
hours.
get coffee and then you talk for
let's
hours.
go talk for the
Yes.
next 10 hours.
Yes.
Like, it's those friendships that make me sad because I like know the potential
Mhm.
that is there, but
Yeah.
because of long distance.
Yeah.
But like the three of us have had this like root system that's established, and we made an
Totally.
effort to, so that doesn't apply to us
Yeah.
because we've cultivated this.
Yeah.
But maybe
Right.
those friendships that like didn't have as much time to cultivate,
Sure.
to blossom into.
I remember there was a girl when we went to Northwestern, and her and I went to school. We didn't meet each other until our senior year, or maybe she was a junior. I don't remember. But we basically didn't go to the same college, but there was a college that was super, super close to us, and we like did the same internship, and so we were running into each other all the time. And her and I was like, oh my gosh, you're
Soul
like the
sisters.
coolest. Yes, I was like, you're the coolest person I've ever met. And I was like, okay, you would literally actually be like legitimately such a cool friend.
Yeah.
But I'm graduating and I'm moving away and I'm never gonna see you again.
Yeah.
And it's like we just didn't have enough time. Sometimes it's like, man, if we would have had 4 years together in school, this would be different. But that's not like it's a bad thing either, because like for me, now that I'm older and I'm like taking words of advice from my mom, when she goes and visits places, she's like, okay, I remember I met them, we like had a good friendship. I mean, we weren't like best friends, but we had like a good solid relationship. So when I go somewhere, I want to be able to reach out to that person and be like, hey, what are you doing
Oh, that's
today?
cool.
Do you like want to go get coffee or do something? Like,
I
so my
love
mom
that.
is
Yeah.
my mom and dad are like the kings and queens of that. They are so good at reaching out to people and just being like, hey, let's get together, even though it's been a long time. And that's something that I try to like tell people or make it known, even if we haven't talked to each other in a long time or if we haven't reached out, know that my door is always open.
Yeah.
I remember someone said that to me once. They're like, don't ever feel embarrassed because it's been so long since you've reached out to me. Know that our friendship and what we had, is always constant.
That's so
I want
nice.
to make that an Instagram post.
I like
I want to post that on my
that.
story.
Yes.
That's
I know.
really cute.
And like when they told me that, I was like, thank you, because I felt
Yeah.
like crap for not reaching out and being
Right.
consistent. But like, no, it's never too long.
Yeah.
It's never been too long.
I'm
It's
obsessed with
just
that.
dormant. So I remember I was like, that's life changing. It gives you a sense of freedom where like you feel like you need to maintain all these things and you're juggling all these friendships, but then you're like putting like half-hearted words into all these things.
Yeah.
Whereas like you reach out when you have time and
Yeah.
you just go from there.
I just call those
Along with go ahead.
I just call those friendship, almost like friendship breaks, because it's like the friendship is never gone. It's just like we were on a break for friends.
Yeah.
A little bit, because
Yeah.
it's not like it's a breakup where you're like, okay, this is clearly the end of the road for us. But I do feel like I have a lot of long distance friends like that where I'm like, I may only in reality talk to them twice a year, but I know if they're in town, like they're staying over. If I'm ever in, I'm gonna pick a random city, but like LA, like if I go there, like
Oh,
I
wow.
know I don't
What are
know
you-
why.
Are you going to LA soon?
I am
Are you
not,
going there
but
soon?
I wish that I was. Honestly, I'm just LA state of mind because it's cold.
Yeah.
But I just know that if I'm in that city and I'm like, hey, I'm
New
in
York
town.
state of mind. That's New York state of mind.
You're right.
I think it works.
Honestly, New York too.
LA is not cold.
Well, that's
LA?
what I meant.
No, she's saying because it's cold.
here
where she's
because
at,
it's
so
cold
she
No,
wants
here.
she said it. She said LA state of mind. It is
Casey,
New York state of mind.
I know, but she's just saying.
I just
she's
I know that's what it
replacing
is. I just mean I'm in an LA state of mind because it's hot
she's
there.
Thinking LA because it's hot there. Casey, get on track with
Okay,
us.
we're having a conflict. Sorry, guys. An on-air conflict.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you thought the expression was.
I know
so
it's
I
New
was
York
just
State of
helping
mind.
you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to make sure that that's what you knew.
Thank you. I do
We just
appreciate it.
love roasting.
I didn't want you. I didn't
know.
want you running
I
around
know.
telling
I mean,
people LA state of
That
mind.
is something that I would do. But no, let me use different words. I'm mentally in LA.
there
I'll
you
say
go.
that. And now I forgot what I was saying because it's been so long. I was
When
saying-
you go to LA, you can see this person.
yeah. I can see this person. Anyways, long story short, I feel like kind of like what you were saying with that friend that told you that. I love that she was like upfront by saying that, because I think a lot of the times it just turns into that and you're like, okay, now we know. It's like this unspoken thing. But like the fact that up front, like, don't be embarrassed. Also, like, if you're ever in town, like, let me know. Like, I love that. And then also, if it like doesn't work out for you guys to reconnect and things get busy and plans get changed, it's like, okay, no worries. Like, next time we'll try. You know, it's like literally not a big deal. Like, you're not like flipping your whole day upside down just to like find this one person. But it's like, if it happens, it happens. And if not, we'll reconnect next year. But I feel like they're almost, I don't know if friendship break is the right term, but it's not breakup, but it's not a real relationship. It's just a break until you're together again.
Yeah.
And then
time out. Pause.
It's a
You know?
pause. I think along
I'm not
with
telling
that,
you to time out. I'm saying it. Time out.
Oh, okay.
she's saying that's what the friendship is.
You look like okay.
Oh
wait,
yeah, I was
why
like,
are we
okay,
doing that?
let's
So
pause.
startled.
That
I
is
think-
a signal we use sometimes.
I know,
on
that's
the
why I
podcast
was
to tell each
confused.
other to stop talking. So my bad.
You're fine.
I think along with like the theme of time, I don't know about you guys' experiences with like a friendship breakup, but I think, like Casey, you were talking about resolutions, and I think if there is no good resolution, I feel like the best healer is time. Like time away from each other, time
Totally.
to just like get story straight in your head, to let the emotions settle. Like I would say that friend that I was screaming at, I would say, like, if she posted an Instagram story that was like, oh, I'm engaged, I could respond to that and be like, wow, I'm so happy for you.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Not gonna be invited to the wedding, that's fine. But like, I feel like there's not necessarily that animosity anymore.
Yeah.
At least not on my end. I don't know about hers, but so I don't know. I think that is one like thing, is just give it time.
Yeah. And you can look back now, like almost 10 years later, you know what, and be like, oh yeah, that was like a really big deal back then, but now that I'm so far removed and your life has moved on and now you're in a happy relationship with your husband and she's living her life too, like, you know, you like people can just grow apart before the better and be like happy for the other person too. Like
often, at least in that circumstance, the barriers to our friendship aren't even there anymore. Like the things that we were fighting about no longer even exist. And so it's like, what's the hindrance, you know?
Yeah.
Totally. And I remember, I can't remember, maybe Kira, you said this once, but you're like, I think if we were to run into this person today, we would be friends. And like, in our personalities and how we've grown as adults, like, we would totally be like, yeah, let's get along. Like, there's no reason. And we would be able to figure it out now. Like, if we ran into some sort of conflict now, we would just figure it out because that's what you do. But sometimes timing is off, or you just need time, and then you can come back and revisit the friendship later. And the cool thing about that was when you come back and revisit a friendship, it's like you still have good memories and good times together. It's just there's a little bit of a gap.
You might find actually
resume.
that you
That's
have
fine.
more in common now. Like, who knows?
Totally.
You might be like, oh, I didn't know. Like, I forgot this thing about you, or you're into this now. I'm into, like, honestly, you might find you're more alike now, so far, years removed from a situation than what you had ever thought in the moment. And actually, that's a good segue into this other question that I had asked, which was, what's the hardest thing about being in a long distance friendship? I mean, it could be relationship too, but we actually had some good ones that kind of like will end it on a little bit more of a high. But we had someone write in not being able to hug your friends, which I do feel like is so true. Like, not being able to be there physically and like be like just a little hug or a little movie night and just like sitting next to like just the physicalness of being with your friend. Like there's nothing, especially when you haven't seen them but like once a year, or like us three probably, I mean it's sad, but probably once a year, you know what I mean? But like that's sad.
More than that, once every like 5 years.
Yeah, honestly. Well, we're never all together at the same time.
Yeah,
like, we've seen each other like in pieces.
Yeah,
but never like
just not collectively.
But
the hugs are nice.
You know what I thought about? I was like, what? Like, because we're both having babies in May.
I know.
Like, after that, when are we ever traveling to each other?
Literally, I also thought this, but then I shoved the thought so deep.
I was like,
the depths.
do we need to have a trip before May? Like, I feel like we need to do something because
I will literally plan it.
How?
Okay.
Do you guys want to?
So, anyways, we need to plan that at some point because
that'll be an off-pod discussion.
Yeah,
but we also can't fly when we're like super pregnant.
So, like, we have to
like
that.
We'll
have to figure it out
in like February.
Oh my gosh,
March.
This is like coming up. Like
okay, so like we have to like see each other like tomorrow. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, we'll revisit that.
All right, cool.
We're gonna just mark off all of February just in case.
Yeah, cool. Deal.
Love that. That's sad.
Okay. We'll see. Okay.
But anyways, the hugging one. But I think it flows into this other one that someone else had written, which is not being able to celebrate in person. You know, whether the wins, whether the birthdays, whether the whatever milestones. I mean, heck, even like the birth of your children, you know, or days after, like, weeks after.
I would love to come to your baby shower, Mir.
Yeah. Are you guys having baby showers?
Probably.
Do
the moms
my friend Alicia, she asked me last week. She was like, so okay, March, when works? Like, I'm throwing you one.
That's cute.
And that was, I like could have cried.
Fun. That's really cute.
Because it just, I don't know, my mom's not here. Like, I didn't know if Noah's mom is planning on throwing one. So I was kind of just like mentally preparing to not have one. And was like, that's fine. I don't need one. It's okay. Like, we'll figure it out.
Well, send me your guys' baby registry.
That was nice.
If you want to like put one together.
And I kind of had the same thought too, Mir. I do have my sister here. She hasn't said anything to me, so like, hey, if you're listening to this, Tammy, like,
plug,
like maybe we could talk about it or
if
something.
You're listening to this podcast.
But I coach volleyball to girls, and they want to have a baby shower for me, which I think is really sweet. And so, like,
so sweet.
It makes coaching and all the moments of like, oh, this is frustrating and it takes a lot of my time, but it, like, moments like that make it worth it. And when they like talk about the baby and stuff at practice, and they're like, oh my gosh, we gotta play for the baby, you know,
everything's for the baby.
The baby is the mascot.
That's so cute, actually.
But it's super fun. And it would literally be amazing to go to your baby shower. And I hate that I missed it. And even like your bridal shower. Like,
well, and I'll tell you, you guys are on the invite list. Like, you guys are both going to get an invite. But like, obviously, it's
imagine
okay.
I like surprise show up to both of yours. Imagine.
Don't do that. You don't like that. Don't.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry. I'm going to start crying.
I know, because if you
just don't have them on the same day,
like, I'd probably pee my pants.
Okay,
I'm like watering up.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we'll push that to the side.
Mine's the day before Easter, so if you really want to, March 30.
March 30. Okay,
but
mine
also
doesn't have a date because, again, like, Cammy has brought it up, so like,
Cammy,
maybe you can bring it up. Yes, I don't know, but
it's okay.
You can also just show up at any point. You're always invited.
Imagine I show up in the hospital while you're pushing it out.
I wouldn't even be mad. I'd like catch it.
Hold a leg.
I'd say, catch my child.
Noah doesn't want to cut the cord. You cut that cord.
Auntie Kiki. I'm sorry. That visual just had me dying.
Is Bryce gonna cut your cord? Have you talked about that?
Oh yeah.
Is he gonna?
I'm making him look at everything, and like anything we do, I say, okay, you have to go look now. Doctor went first, now you go. Like, I need to desensitize him to the fact that
that's so
stuff
funny.
is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to be like, oh my gosh, your lady parts, they're like really like swollen or like they're really big. I don't know. I said lady parts, and I
private.
hated it. As soon as I said it, I hated
square.
it.
It's okay.
You're no
it's
square.
Okay.
My flower is getting really big.
It's crumpling.
Don't step on my flower.
Noah was like, do you want me to do that? And I was like, no, that's kind of weird.
Okay,
and he was
well,
like,
then there you go.
He was like, I don't really need to cut that thing. Like, I don't really I know that I'm the dad. I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Sure. And then like, but maybe like he'll get caught up in the heat of the moment. He's like, give me those scissors.
Give
you
me
know
that.
what I mean?
I'm gonna rip him with my teeth.
Bryce could easily also just like pass out. Like,
Yeah.
who
True.
knows?
That's why I need to be
Who
there for
knows?
both, just in case,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for any
Yeah.
scenarios.
Do you still have your Spirit, like,
Oh yeah,
your Spirit airline cheap ticket
I'm a
thing?
gold member,
Okay.
platinum member of Spirit.
Okay. So I'm just, you might be putting on a lot of miles is what I'm saying.
Good.
So let's,
Let's rock those babies up.
You are the godmother of both of these children. So
yeah.
Yes. Godmother.
And if-
Did your gift come in
and if-
there or a case?
I didn't check.
Okay, check.
My bad.
I sent.
I haven't gone outside because the weather's
Oh,
been so bad
okay.
that I like literally try not to leave the house.
That's fair.
But I will check. I promise.
I got her a similar
cried.
thing that I got for you, Mary. It just like came really late, so I canceled it and then ordered a new one. So I don't know why.
Oh.
It came so late. Anyways, Merry Christmas to the both of you.
Thank you. Sorry I got you
you.
nothing.
And I didn't.
No, I wanted to give you a little something. I mean, it's literally just like the smallest thing ever. So don't.
That is so
Okay.
sweet.
But
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, but this, like, having this conversation in real life would actually kind of be the most fun thing in the world right
know.
now.
Yeah.
I know.
But God bless
you know.
technology that we can do this.
You know,
honestly.
100%.
Do you remember when
Yeah.
Skype was a big thing? Do you think like we would have been
my-
Skyping?
Boop,
We
boop, boop,
Skyped.
boop, boop.
Yes. Oh, Mary.
Oh
It's
my
like giving me chills.
gosh.
That it takes you back to
We
freshman year
Skyped.
of college.
Yeah.
Yes, I was literally just about
Did
to
we
say
Skype?
that.
Like setting up
Yes.
Skype for my parents before I left. So that we could Skype.
Gosh.
okay, do you remember Mare got bangs and dyed her hair and told us over Skype, and like we all went on Skype and she was like, here's my new hair, you guys, and we were like, oh my gosh,
Oh my
your
gosh.
hair.
I
don't
don't remember
remember?
that.
Was this
No,
like
not
Christmas
one bit.
break or
Skype.
something?
Yeah,
Yes,
that would
it
have
was
been
on
Christmas break.
And we all Skyped, and I remember seeing her hair.
We literally couldn't go 2 weeks without
I know.
seeing each other.
No.
I think it was like all like
Well,
5,
now we
6
don't
of
even
us.
go a week, so we do this every week.
I know.
Yeah,
I know,
true.
I know. It's the same thing.
We're
Yeah.
like, we must stay in
Oh.
contact. We can't let
Yeah.
this
Oh.
friendship
If we don't,
fade.
It will. Yeah, I
And
know.
it's literally gonna fade.
Here
There's
we are,
like
though.
there's gonna be no friendship when we come back.
Here we are.
Oh gosh, that was fun. That was a good one to
That was
end on.
super
That was
fun.
the only
Yeah.
other question that
On
I
a
had.
high note to end
I
on.
know,
Yeah.
because long distance friendships
All right,
are
Mare.
hard. So
Yeah.
You go ahead and bring down the mood.
bring it down.
Well, I will say, so far in season 2, 2 of our 3 Mare Brings Down the Mood segments are Kiera's ideas. So they are starting to be Kiera Brings Down the
Oh
Mood.
man, I'm
Wow.
taking
Thank
over.
you, Kiera, for this.
Um,
So Kiera texted today and was like, hey, we should do a segment on times that we've been humbled.
heck yeah.
And I just thought that was really, I like that a lot. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So we're just going to rapid fire this out.
Okay.
I love that.
Who wants to go first?
I have one.
Okay.
So, I coach volleyball, right?
Mhm.
And I coach teenagers, and it's a very select group of girls that you either love them or you hate them. And you sometimes do both at the same time. But I don't feel like I'm that much older than them. I know I am, but like I really don't. Sometimes I'm like, you guys don't even know how cool I am. I am really cool. You guys will grow up and you'll be like, wow, she was so cool. I didn't even realize
You're
it.
just
But anyway.
a different generation from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I said one time during practice, someone almost won like a little mini game we were playing. I was like, ooh, close but no cigar. Okay. And the girl looked at me and she goes, what? Literally, what does that even mean? And I was like, it means you almost won the game, but you didn't. She goes, I have never heard that in my life. And I was like, okay.
That's a very common phrase.
I was like, literally everyone says it.
uh-huh.
And
What
she's
is the
like,
phrase?
I've
I'm
never
trying
heard
to-
it before.
Close but no
Close
cigar.
but no cigar.
Which also, like, I don't know what it means. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know where it comes
I've
from.
heard it, but I've never used it.
Yeah. I mean, I know what it means, like, in terms of using it as an expression, but I
Yeah.
don't know where it's derived from. But
She's
yeah.
in the wrong, not you.
She
So
needs to
I was
be
like, okay,
educated.
ew.
She
I was
needs
like,
to be humble.
Did you feel
You
old?
need to know more expressions. I felt really old.
She's like, what are you from the
I felt so
1900s?
old.
You
Yeah,
are.
pretty much. Ugh, anyway.
I know when you say it like
That's mine.
that. I guess I have a recent one. I'm gonna tell just a quick story. Had food poisoning the other day. Stuff coming out both ends and tears. So that's when I was humbled. Is
Gosh.
diarrhea at the same time as throwing up, at the same time as crying. You got to choose.
Yep.
Like, there's only one character in that you got to be, and the rest you got to just deal with the consequences. I was humbled. I was humbled in that moment. And also I was alone, so I was humbled alone, which is a different kind of humbled. You know what I mean? Where you're like, no one's here to witness this, only me. But I feel even more humbled, to be honest. It's a different kind of embarrassing. So that's my most recent.
Like the state of like patheticness.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just like, what more can I do?
Oh, yeah. And I had the choice. I was like, I could tell people this and just own it, or I could just pretend it didn't happen. No one would know.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah,
but I'm owning it at this point.
And
own your truth. Own my
truth.
Own your truth.
People.
Yeah.
I'm humbled every time I go to the airport thinking my outfit looks cute. And then I look around and I'm like, oh,
good. That's good. I'm ready.
My outfit is
down.
trash compared to all these.
Oh, that is so funny.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
I'm writing that down because
really
that's
good.
good.
What are you gonna do with it?
I
when you write it down?
I don't know. I'm just keeping it in my
Diary,
notes.
or
Just keeping it in my notes. I'm making
cross stitch it on a pillow.
making an Instagram for that.
Are you gonna add it to your mood board?
Probably. It's on my vision board for 2024.
On your vision board.
Oh yes, sorry.
Good
Vision board.
airport
My
fits.
fault.
I like that.
That's so funny. Next time I fly, I'm gonna really try and fly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thanks. I thought of it as I was saying it. Oh.
Do you have another one, Case?
So, no.
Oh.
Am I supposed to have?
I have a whole list.
I have several.
And Casey had one. Are you kidding?
Normally we try not to keep this segment very long. I thought it was like a quick wrap up.
Thing is,
Okay, hold
No,
on.
this is like a rapid fire. Like we're
okay.
think of at least four
hold
more.
on. Okay.
text Bryce right now. Because I'll
Okay,
tell you.
I have one. I have one.
couldn't-
Okay, Casey. Okay, ignore all that silence. Walking on ice is humbling because it doesn't matter how agile you are. It doesn't matter, how athletic you are. It will take you if it wants you,
Yeah.
and you will walk like a newborn deer. Yeah.
Honestly, those videos are my favorite videos of all time. When it's like
I
a
love
compilation of people falling on ice.
Yes.
So good. So
good.
humbling for them. That's a good one. Me, every time I go in the gym and I think that I can lift more weights than I can, and I'm like, yeah, I can do this. No.
That's a really good one.
No. And I've only recently
funny.
started like actually going to the gym and like lifting weights and stuff. And I'm like, oh, like even like lateral raise. Like I was 12 pounds. That's like a third of my boyfriend's dog. No. I had to go down to the 5-pounders. That humbled me. And you know that walk of shame when I'm like,
lateral raises are really hard though.
Those
So
are-
don't
That's
don't count
That's a
yourself
muscle
out.
group that you don't
That's
get.
tough.
Yeah.
yeah, this
That's
is true.
tough.
And then afterwards, and everyone's like, no one can. They're like, I can bench this much, but my lateral raises are like 2 pounds. I'm like, okay, makes me feel a little bit better. But just like when you're like, I can do this, you walk up, get the weight, you go back, and you're like, I can't do this. You walk back, put the weight back, get a new one,
Yeah,
I
walk
get
back.
it.
Humbling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had a hard time coming up with some of these, which is ridiculous because I know that I've been humbled in my life. That is not, you know what I mean?
We
like
can remind
when
you.
you know. So one thing that is humbling is asking your loved ones, those closest to you, hey, what's a time that I can you help me out? Can you think of something, for me?
Okay.
Oh, and they just came pouring in, which that itself is
Oh.
humbling. But Noah reminded me, we recently had this fight. What do you guys think the term Cheerio means? Like, Cheerio.
Like cheerio. Like
Yes. What kind of greeting does that? Is that like a hello or is that a goodbye?
Pip pip.
ta-ta, cheerio.
I think it's a
I think
goodbye.
it's good.
Cheerio.
I think it's a goodbye.
Okay, I was adamant that it was like a greeting, like a hello. And I was
Okay.
like, we were like not yelling, but I was like, Noah, I will pay you $1 million. Like, I know this is what it is. And I was like, I'm going to Google it right now, and you are going to be so wrong.
Okay.
And the first thing that came up, it was like, colloquial greeting, like meaning goodbye or good luck.
Stop.
And I was like, frick. So that I was humbled in that moment.
That's actually a good one. Like when you know you're right and then you're wrong and you're like, how?
So
like you turn on
furious.
yourself almost. You're
Yeah.
like, I am like so disappointed.
What else am I wrong
Yeah, right.
about?
What else
Like,
is a lie?
I thought I was so right. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh my god.
Okay. My next one is putting on the same clothes that always have fit me, but during pregnancy you like keep getting bigger and like you can't wear your clothes and like you have nothing to wear and every day sucks.
That one feels so bad. I finally went through my closet and I took out every article of clothing that I can't wear, and they're all boxed up somewhere. So that, because I would just get sad looking at my closet in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
But like
a sad
you put on a
one.
sweatshirt like 1 week and then you put it on like a week later or 2 weeks later and you're like, okay, this does not feel the same. And yeah. And you're like, okay, so I guess I'm just like so fat and like morbidly obese now.
Oh my gosh. Is pregnancy as a whole humbling?
Yes. It's just, it's too much to, we could
There's
do a
so
whole
many
humbling
adjectives.
section
I
of
think
that.
we
Yeah.
should do a
But specifically the
podcast on that.
clothes is wrecking
I just
me a
didn't
bit.
realize how much shopping I would have to do. Like,
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
like okay, I finally have enough pairs of jeans, like pairs of maternity pants to like pull together some good outfits. But now, like, oh, my bra doesn't fit. Like now, and then like, well, what size bra do I get? Because I know those are going to change a bunch in the next like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
humbling.
Yeah.
That's
a good one.
Humbling.
I have when you are the only one that you think can smell your fart, and someone like not even near you is like, "What's that?"
Oh my god.
Kiera.
You know what has happened to you though.
Totally.
You
Absolutely.
know when you're like, that was a silent fart, and like no one. I'm sure no one
You,
can smell
like,
that.
You like walk away from the
Yeah, you're like,
situation,
I'm gonna leave that there.
like casually,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
when you come back, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you smell that?" And you're like, "Wait, what?"
Any form of like fart, like public fart, like you like suddenly jump up and like one comes out and you just keep talking like
You're like, I have
no one heard that.
Yeah, no one heard, and
Wait,
everyone knows
when
that they've heard it.
When you stand up in public, you spontaneously
No, I'm just
fart.
saying. But like, has it ever happened to you where like, you're
like, where it's
doing-
come
you're,
out
like, in the middle of
accidentally?
something? I had that where I was playing. Like, do you know the game Fishbowl?
Yeah.
So like, I was acting something out, and I was just moving really vigorously, and one just
farted.
a little tiny one popped out,
Was it loud?
and like, it was like a little, and I just kept going with it, and like, I just pretended like. Everyone in the room pretended like it didn't happen.
Oh my gosh! Did it smell?
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
You were in the heat
Smelling.
of the moment.
I was in the heat of the moment. Yeah. Yeah. I was busy trying to act out like Alcatraz or something. You know, like how do you do that?
Oh my gosh, Alcatraz of all things. Oh gosh, anything with farts.
That's funny.
Just humbling.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're
Um,
welcome.
Learning to play keys with a click for the first time. That was humbling.
That's a super niche one. So if you don't know what she's saying,
Yes.
go ahead and explain it.
So, yes, thank you. So, for those of you who aren't in this worship realm, a lot of worship teams play with a click in their ear. Like, it's basically a metronome to keep the whole team on track. Yes. And if you've never played with that, it is a whole other skill apart from actually learning the instrument itself.
Totally.
And so, yeah, I remember like being at New Anthem in Kansas and trying to play with this and being like, I'm musical. I promise, guys.
You're like, I can't play the keys.
It keeps you so much in time.
Yeah.
That it's like, it makes you mad because you don't realize how out of time you play when you don't, like when you play with a metronome. Like if you've played piano and you've ever played with a metronome, it's like having a metronome in your ears, and it lets you know if you're running behind or if you're playing too fast. So
Yes.
Were you always going too slow or too fast?
can I guess?
I don't know the answer, so you can guess,
Oh.
but
Dang it.
I was gonna guess too fast.
I wanted to say too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
probably
too.
because like I'm nervous too.
Yeah.
So I'm like
Sure.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I would be the same way. That's a good one.
No, that's a good one.
Okay, I have another one. If you don't case,
Yeah.
it is a story that is just a little look into my life. But it's a short one. But this is I see this happening like in my brain when I'm gonna tell the story.
Okay.
Time that I've been humbled. It was English class, like sophomore year, and I can like even envision the classroom, and we were all making something like out of paper, like we were all like making some kind of a craft, and one of the guys in my class was making an octopus. And so, it's kind of like dead silent, and I felt like I had to like fill up the space by saying something. So literally I can't remember his name, so I'm going to call him Jeremy. And I turned to Jeremy and I was like, "Oh, like those testicles look nice." And I meant to say tentacles.
that is a wild.
I meant to say something about the octopus tentacles, and I kid you not, dead silence. I said, "Oh, what those testicles do?" And I never felt more embarrassed. I'm sure I turned literally so red. It's not even funny, like as red as a lobster, because that is embarrassing.
That's amazing.
And that's the time I was humbled, because public humiliation like that you put on your own self is uncharted territory.
Oh my gosh.
So that's one that lives in my head rent free, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
That's a little look into my bad.
And the fact that you were who you were back in high
Yes.
school,
Right.
just a sweet, innocent,
Sweet
precious
innocent.
baby.
And I think I was like probably
Okay,
at first like,
did
"Oh."
you know?
I think I did.
You know that when you said it?
I think when
what
it came out of my
was?
mouth, I was like, "That's not what I meant." Probably never said the word testicles out loud before. That's probably my first time ever.
That was my first time saying testicles.
Oh my gosh! If you are specifically Rebecca or maybe Emma, those two might be listening. You would know.
Gosh.
You would remember
so
that,
funny.
hopefully. And if not, maybe it's a memory I need to like let go of. But it's in the brain nonetheless.
Oh my gosh,
That's
that
really
is
good.
so.
Oh, gosh.
funny. Oh wow. Okay.
I know.
You know what? I think we almost need to end on that one. It's so good.
I want to end on this one.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Is that-
Okay.
This is one that involves you guys.
Oh,
no.
time you were humbled.
Wait, did you humble us or did we humble you?
No, just listen. So I just always thought that our friendship was so strong and so
Ew, I hate
secure
when this is
and
what's
firm.
going on?
And then one Easter,
Oh.
went back to Kelowna with you guys to Casey's hometown, and we were going to take a picture all together.
I have a knot in my stomach.
Give
I have a
you
knot in my
guys
flipping
stomach.
didn't
context.
want me
Give flipping
in
context.
the picture.
That-
You
give
didn't want me
context.
in the picture. Whatever the context is, you didn't want me in the picture. And in that moment, I was like, wow, maybe we aren't as good of friends.
That
as
actually
I
has
thought.
my stomach in knots. And that's the time I was like, "You're freaking exclusive. You need to buck up and not be this little B word."
And that's, you know what?
Wait, you said that to yourself
Yes.
in your head?
In my head.
Okay.
I think of that story
So
a lot.
I just remember I wanted to take one photo with the OG group that went with us the
Please
year before
explain
when we
this.
invited them.
Please
Okay.
explain this. Yeah.
So we went back for Easter. This was our sophomore year, and we went with some friends. We went with Wyatt. Shout out Wyatt
if you're listening to
and
this.
Dylan. If you're listening,
And
which-
we is you and
Yes.
Kiera, not me.
Yes,
I didn't
me,
go.
Kiera, Bryce, Wyatt, and Dylan. Okay. We went back to my hometown. This is our sophomore year. This is their freshman year. And we invited the heck out of Mare. Okay. She was so invited. You guys don't even understand how invited she was. Okay. However, Meredith decided, oh, I hate you guys. I'm not coming.
No.
Okay.
I said, I'm transferring with you guys. I'm going to spend this Easter with my friends I'm not transferring with.
Blah, blah,
And
blah,
spend
blah,
some
blah.
time with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyway,
Still salty.
so then it gets to the next year where we've transferred. We all go to Northwestern now. And those two friends, Wyatt and Dylan, we invited them to come back for Easter again.
They were still at Heston at
And they
this
were still
point.
at
They're
Heston.
sophomores, yeah.
So we all go back to Kelowna the second time through. And let me just preface, the first time we all went, it was literally one of the most fun trips ever. Kira, I know you know it was fun, and you're trying to.
You're allowed to say that. It's okay that was fun.
It was fun. Okay. It was.
I went along the next year,
Yes.
and they clearly didn't want me to come along.
No. Okay, shush. Don't put words in our mouth. We wanted to replicate this photo we had took the year before that was super iconic, and that just it was just what it was. But we wanted to get that photo, and it didn't have Mare in it.
I know.
So we wanted to just get that photo,
We kicked
and
her out
then
of
we
the
were going to be like,
photo.
But
Mare, now you can come.
But no one said, "Hey, this is what we're doing." They just kind of looked at me like I was like, "What are you doing?"
So bad. Like that's.
It was like,
why did
you
we
guys
do that?
Literally, all four of you looked at me like, "Why are you in this picture?"
That's
and
so bad.
And I was like, "I'm in this picture because I'm freaking here on this trip. Like, get over it." And I stood in that freaking
The
picture.
thing is, you stood.
I was like, "I'm not leaving." I stood my ground because I deserved to be there. And you know what? I can say that was mean of you guys. that was
it was
mean.
so mean.
That was really
it was
mean.
so mean.
That was really.
And you know
mean.
what? That was a red flag in the friendship. But this conversation right here is a green flag because we can talk about it. And I can say you guys were mean.
I don't know why we were so into that photo.
And the thing is, we didn't even have a conversation about it previously,
No.
saying hey, let's make sure that we don't we
No.
all just kind of knew somehow that hey, let's make sure that she doesn't get in it.
I'm saying I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Because I think if it would have been hey, let's get one with the original group and then we'll get one with Meredith, I would have been like, okay, that kind of hurts, but I get it.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, the complete mature thing to do would have been to just say that instead of squeezing in tighter and tighter.
Literally,
Right.
There's a gap. I want to find
I
that
know.
picture.
I do too, but I don't
I'm
want
sure
it.
there's a gap.
Oh. Honestly, no. The
So
mature
that
thing.
was the time I was humbled.
The mature thing would have been okay, yeah, this is the group. This time, let's take a freaking photo. Would have been we didn't care about.
Obviously, this is
Oh,
part 2.
gosh.
It's not the same because it's a little different. But okay, Mare, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. We have learned a lot from that, and I appreciate.
That's all
your
that I
grace.
wanted for the last 8 years. That's all I wanted.
Okay,
7 years.
You know what? Now
She
I'm
can
not.
fall
Now
asleep
I'm
at
not.
night.
Now I redact my apology.
No, that makes
No,
me.
but you weren't crazy. You weren't crazy for thinking we were trying to squeeze you out of the photo. We definitely were.
Oh yeah,
We 100%
so
were.
bad
Yeah.
of us.
Well,
I think we talked about it later.
The funniest part we did. The funniest part was Casey's face was like,
Stop.
she's she was trying not to laugh. I remember that. You were like,
I remember the dress you were wearing.
How do
oddly
I
enough.
say something?
Weren't you wearing this white dress?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Honestly,
'cause
I
I'm
remember
trying to
the picture
wash
so
away.
much because
Yeah.
the sun was out and
Visualize.
Bryce couldn't keep his eyes open.
Oh,
Do you guys
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
He was struggling.
Okay, after this,
Wyatt
after we
almost
wrap
died
up,
on that trip. Wyatt
forgot
crashed
that.
the 4-wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
That was bad, actually.
Straight up,
Like, kind of a
that was
traumatic
bad.
Easter all together.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
Anyways,
Sorry for all that trauma.
sorry,
It's okay.
Wyatt, but
I'm over it. We're good friends.
we're
Wyatt,
past
glad
it,
you're
and we do
healed.
apologize.
Thank you.
I never want to do that. Make anybody feel like that ever again. To be honest,
If
so
you have something that you want someone to do, just say it. Don't
Just
try
say
and
it.
show them
don't
with
shove
your
them away.
body language.
It's okay.
Don't look at them up and
Oh,
down. Just
God,
tell them.
that's a good.
It's
That's
okay, and
that's
you know what?
Hey, but
well,
here we
way
are.
to
good
end
on
that.
you for persevering and getting yourself in that photo.
Thank you.
Good on you.
I was determined. That's how I squeezed myself into this whole friendship. Honestly, is I just stuck around.
You just stuck
So,
around.
yeah.
That's what we've been saying all season 1. You just gotta
Yep.
stick around and find your people. Okay,
Yep.
I thought of one more quick one. It's when I forgot my solo at one of my recitals. Do you remember that? And I just started. I didn't know what I was singing, and it was literally an Ed
don't
Sheeran
remember
song.
that.
You do. It was
What?
at
I
Heston.
have literally no
It was
idea
one of
what you're
those.
talking
I don't
about.
know what they were called, but they're quarterly things. And someone was
Yeah.
playing the ukulele beside me, and I don't remember. I couldn't remember how to sing the song. Case, you were there. I know you were
wasn't
there.
No,
You
I wasn't there. No, wait, was I?
You were, because you left because you were like so embarrassed. I can't.
Maybe
I can't remember. What
wait,
were
hold on.
What were those called? The like chapels. Like
worship
master class?
No, it wasn't master class because we would do those with all the vocal students. It was
like
during a chapel we would perform. Performance chapel? I don't know. It's
I can't remember the name, but
wait. Okay, if I walked out, it wasn't because I was embarrassed of you.
You probably
It's
tried to
because
not
I was
laugh.
probably going to start laughing,
I know.
and I didn't want to laugh while you were
I
already in your moment of
know.
distress. Okay, it's kind of coming back. It's coming back to me.
I'm gonna try to find a photo from that era so you remember. Were you there, Mare?
I don't remember that.
Okay. All that to say, there's been plenty of times since then where like singing in front of people.
Did you start making up words?
I think I just kind of like stood there. It was like, and I think like whoever was on the ukulele was like trying to help me out, and I was like, I'm blanket. You know when you're like nothing's going through your mind.
Were you just like standing there like smiling?
I'm pretty sure
it turned into a dance recital. You just started swaying.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, it kind of did. I was like, nothing's going through my head. Like, not a single thing. So I'm just going to stand here.
Okay.
Humbled.
I think now
we're done.
We gotta
Yeah.
shut
Okay.
it down.
I'm glad
We're
we've resolved that.
Wow. My head hurts now from laughing.
That was good.
Oh, too good.
Well, remember, you can always send us an email at It's Been Forever Pod. Follow us on Instagram. Don't remember that handle, but we're on there.
It's Been Forever Podcast, I think.
Thank you.
It is.
Yeah. Oh,
also,
and
it's Been
guys,
Forever Pod at Gmail.
At Gmail.
Thank you. Look on if you're listening on Spotify, look for a Q&A question on there. That'll be up.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in. We love hearing from you guys and just seeing where you're listening from. And thanks for hanging around to the better end and be back next week for a new episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
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 Bye.